Leslie Sanders. Leslie Sanders, next. Is that Leslie? Leslie, you have 3 minutes. Go ahead.
I just saw an attitude, that's why I'm here.
Well, I want to start by quoting the Griffin Poetry winner of this year and the Poet Laureate of the city, Dionne Brand, who starts her long poem, Thirsty, "This city is beauty." I think that sums it up. I want to say that I am inspired. I've been listening all day to the citizens of this city, in which I count myself, and have learned a lot about all the different things that are done in this city. When I have been following the cuts and looked at the report, like other people, I was so appalled at all of the kinds of things that that the report recommended disappear, that it was difficult to know where to start. But my concern focused right away on night buses for people who work at night, daycare for people who need daycare subsidies. I don't know whether anybody today has mentioned the report out of Quebec, which talked about the way in which daycare adds to the economy and ultimately is a payback. Questions of housing, questions of health, the libraries, of course, and the arts. I don't need to go through everything because I really agree with almost everything that's been said, and I'm appalled that the council is being asked, and members of the committee are being asked, to look at this report and to make cuts without looking and analyzing the downstream, without looking at the context, without doing cross-cutting, looking at what the effects will be of cuts. I teach critical thinking at York University, and I have to say that the exercise itself is flawed. But what I don't understand, for example, is that this is an initial number that's being touted. We already have read in the press, although it's not been mentioned much, that the revenues this year for the city were higher than expected. And so the real cut looking backwards is not, what's needed is not $750 million, but it's approximately half that. So I don't understand why the figure, except as a scare tactic, is being touted. It's an initial speculation about costs and revenues, and I think that needs explanation. The other thing is that as a taxpayer, I am happy to pay more taxes. I did not vote for this administration, but I must.
Thank you. Sorry. Gotta wait 3 seconds. Sorry. Any questions? Councillor Layton, 1 minute.
I'm intrigued. You teach a course in critical thinking, and yet you think that there's something critically wrong. Oh, over here, on your right.
Oh, okay, hi.
You teach a course in critical thinking, and yet you think there's something critically wrong with the way about we're doing our thinking right now on council, or at least KPMG's this whole process. What's flawed with it?
Well, it isn't looking at downstream at all. And in fact, I felt KPMG was backing away from the report and saying these are not recommendations. We just looked for a particular thing and we told you where it is. But there's no analysis about what its implications would be and what looking at various recommendations together or separately, contextually, how the picture would change.
Do you think we should be making decisions based on what's contained in the report, the amount of information's here about some of these
No,
very
it doesn't begin to have enough information. I mean, the kind of process that the mayor...
Thank you very much. That's 1 minute. Okay, any other questions? Okay, thank you very much, Leslie. Next deputant, Doug Kerr. Doug Kerr? Doug?
Yes, sir.
3 minutes, sir.
Hi, my name is Doug Kerr, and I'm a member of the Proud of Toronto campaign. We brought over 400 people here to the City Hall Rotunda in May to celebrate the International Day to End Homophobia and Transphobia. And many of our supporters wanted to be here today, but they had to work, and right now they're mostly sleeping. I'm also a volunteer with the executive of the LGBT Giving Network, and we're a group of 20 LGBT and HIV/AIDS charities, and we promote volunteerism and philanthropy in our communities. I want to respond to the section of the KPMG report that says that the Community Partnership and Investment Program and the Business Improvement Area supports are opportunities to be reduced or eliminated. There are 3 reasons why these programs are important. They build community, they create jobs, and they save lives. The first reason is a very practical one. These programs make this city an attractive one for people from all around the world who want to come live here, do business, and raise families of all types. I myself moved here from Alberta because of Toronto's reputation as an open-minded and accepting city. Part of that comes from your support of community organizations like the 519 Church Street Community Centre, Pride, Supporting Our Youth, Sherbourne Health Centre. We don't want to lose out to Vancouver, Montreal, or even Calgary, which is looking pretty good right now. The second reason is that city dollars leverage private dollars that in turn help create jobs. Many of the organizations that are part of our network receive a relatively small amount of funding from the city, and these funds help support core administration and help leverage more money from the private sector. Committee members, do you like public-private partnerships? You're supporting many of them. If you pull the funding, Toronto loses money. Through your support of our main community event, Pride, our theatre, Buddies in Bad Times, our film festival, Inside Out, you're creating jobs in the tourism industry and the hospitality industry. Gay people love to come to Toronto and spend money. City dollars provide important funding that in turn generate ticket sales, corporate sponsorships, and philanthropic donations. The Church Wellesley BIA has been a tremendous asset to help leverage business and community development. The BIA helped make Toronto a destination for tourists from all around the world. These are relatively modest investments for significant financial return. The third reason is, for me, the most important one, and it's a moral one, is that your funding, the city funding, is helping save lives. Your dollars support HIV/AIDS prevention. When I was single, the information provided by organizations such as the AIDS Committee of Toronto helped ensure my health and my survival. Fast forward to today, we still see alarming rates of gay youth suicide. The LGBT Youth Line is a vital support to young people who continue to be at higher risk of suicide. These are not special interests. These are our young people's lives, and I hope that you're concerned about this, committee members. I'm not saying the city has to fund 100% of these programs and services. Healthy organizations have a mix of funding from government, corporate donors, and individuals. But we need the funding to pay the core administrative...
Your 3 minutes is up. Questions? Any questions? Seeing none, thank you very much, sir.
All right, thank you.
Next deputant, his name's crossed off, but I'll call him anyways. Daniel Brambilla.
No, he called in.
You called in, okay. He's not here. Steve Handler. Steve Handler. You have 3 minutes. Steve Handler, once. Steve Handler. Steve Handler, okay. Okay, we're moving on. 128, Patrick Smythe. Patrick Smythe. Patrick Smythe. Okay, we're moving on. 129, Paul Codd. Paul Codd. All right. Paul, you have 3 minutes starting now.
Thank you. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Paul Codd, and I would like to talk to you about community centers. I've lived at 2 Seacourt Avenue in East York for the past 16 years. Across the street from us is the community center at 91 Barrington Avenue. Community centers are quite often thought of as the hub of relaxation and town hall meetings. At these places, people make friends, get encouragement, use computers, and are helped in a myriad of ways. The people that work at these centers are sensitive, caring, and a godsend. They listen to people's problems and offer hope. During tax season, residents get their tax returns prepared for free. The above has been a thumbnail sketch. I'm sure that there are many fine things being done by these centers that I've overlooked. I apologize for the oversight. The aforementioned are the things that some of us know about community centers. What some of us don't know is only learned during times of great stress, and difficulty. Suddenly, one day it happened, the unexpected. The day was Sunday, July 20th, 2008, a day that will live on in infamy. At about 10:40 a.m., the transformer at 2 Seacourt Avenue exploded. My home, as well as the home to hundreds of others, was uninhabitable. We all went through hell, but the worst was yet to come. Ever hear the expression, you ain't seen nothing yet? Well, we hadn't. It was the worst of times and it was the best of times, as we would soon find out. All of our belongings were left behind and included food, clothing, money, and anything else that defined us. What were we to do? Where were we to go? We were in a dilemma that only faith or providence could solve. Then it happened, a solution. The solution appeared in the form of our community center. Up until then, many of us had thought of this place only as a retreat from the daily grind. Now it was offering life as well as hope. Immediately, the community center and its partners went into action. The Salvation Army, United Way, the Public Health Department, City of Toronto, TTC, and others were all there to help us. Citizens donated clothing as well as money to help our plight. A lot of us stayed overnight at the center. That included my sister Maureen and I, as well as a lot of our neighbors. What I have just told you was also true at the 200 Wellesley Street East and 80 Cosburn Avenue explosions. Their community centers were there for them as well.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you. Any questions? Seeing none, thank you very much, Paul.
Thank you.